Hello, Americans. I'm Paul Harvey. You know what the news is. In a minute, you're going to hear the rest of the story. Now, the rest of the story. It took a little persuading to interest Jim in the St. Peter's Church picnic. Maybe we'll meet some girls, Ivan suggested at first, but Jim, only a few days past his 15th birthday, needed more incentive than that. Okay, said Ivan, there'll be a lot to eat. All the moms will bring their bakery goods, and there'll be games too, and there'll be music. So Jim threw a leg over his Raleigh 3-speed bike, and the pair pedaled off down Mather Avenue toward St. Peter's Church. Oh, something else, Ivan added as the boy raced side by side. I want you to meet a friend of mine. I think you two will get along. Jim shrugged, yeah, sure. Minutes later, they had reached Scouts Field across from the church. The picnic was everything Ivan had promised. Plenty of good stuff, including lemonade, homemade ice cream, sumptuous icing-slathered cakes that you could win if you guessed how much each weighed. And there were all kinds of games to play. There was even a little makeshift stage hammered tentatively together on which the children paraded in colorful costumes and from which amateur entertainers amused the picnickers. The amusement in these cases arose more often from the ineptitude of the church member performers than from any intentional attempts at humor on their part. But anyway, Jim, who was sort of a pudgy boy to begin with, was just biting into something baked and heavy, when suddenly from the direction of the little wooden platform came the most unearthly sound, a sound perhaps intended by its instigator to pass for singing. Sure enough, hunched over self-consciously on the tiny picnic stage stood a boy from the church youth club who was trying to sing a song entitled Come Go With Me. Ivan elbowed Jim. That's my friend, he whispered admiringly. But he doesn't even know the words, Jim exclaimed. To which Ivan responded, yes, but doesn't he fake it well? Well, as he struggled along, the obviously uncomfortable boy, whose name was Johnny Winston, accompanied himself with aggressive incompetence on a beat-up old guitar which went steadily out of tune, and finally the song concluded. What neither Ivan nor his pal Jim realized then was that Johnny had spent the entire morning nervously combing his hair, first one way and then another in the bathroom mirror. And when that failed to produce the self-confidence necessary to stand up in front of the entire neighborhood and sing, the 16-year-old served himself a beer, and then another beer, and then another. Well, you now know the result of that misconceived preparation. But see what happened immediately following the dreadful event, when Ivan introduced Jim to his friend, the woozy would-be crooner. Jim, the younger by almost 2 years, maturely reassured Johnny with diplomatic praise, and then sympathetically he began to teach Johnny how to tune his guitar. And then he taught Johnny the real words to Come Go With Me. And what do you know, before the afternoon was over, two fast friends had become three. For once upon a church picnic in Woolton, England, it was Saturday, July 6, 1957. A teenager named Ivan Vaughn brought two other boys together. And the world of music was never to be the same again. You know now how in tragedy they parted. So let's smile now at how sweetly they started. A self-conscious picnic performer named Johnny, John Winston Lennon, John Lennon, and the sympathetic 15-year-old who became his best friend, Jim, James Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney. The Beatles? The Beatles. Only now you know the rest of the story.